So Apple recently released the iPad mini 5, the iPad 2019, and the iPad Air 3. So the question is, which one should you get? I wanted to share my thoughts on it. Hope you enjoy. What's up, boys and girls? My name is Ginfield. Hope you're having a smashing day. If this is your first time to the channel, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. For the rest of you, thank you for joining me once again. So today we're talking about the iPads. Now, let me tell you, this came out of the blue. I don't think anybody could have predicted this one. Apple actually doing something surprising. I'll be honest, I was actually genuinely surprised. I had no idea that Apple would do this. I've had doubts about the iPad mini 5. I made videos about it, and just out of the blue, now we have it. Although it's not called iPad mini 5, it's just called iPad mini. So technically, I was correct. There was no iPad mini 5. Okay, I'm not fooling anyone with that statement. This is basically iPad mini 5. Let's start to talk about that one for a bit. So the difference are that it's got a much better processor. It's the A12, and that's the same one that's in the latest iPhones. The iPhone XS and the XS Max. So it's not the 12X as in the latest iPad Pros, but it's actually very impressive. I mean, an A12 processor. So I did get what I wanted. I really wanted, I love my iPad mini 4, and the only thing that I wanted was to get a better processor. So in that remark, perfect. Now, are there any other differences? Well, the screen turns out to be a bit different. Now you got the options to have True Tone. You can, toggle it on and off. And you also have the P3 color gamut, so you get better color accuracy. And it's still got fully laminated screen, which I really like. So you basically lose nothing by getting the newer one. It's got all the improvements, and also, most importantly, it does come with support with the Apple Pencil, which I haven't actually tested, but the Apple Pencil, now it's there. And I think that the best feature for me, apart from the new CPU, is actually that the front-facing camera now shoots in 1080p. For me, that's important because I'm a vlogger, I have several channels, and I like to have all my devices with a front-facing camera that shoots at least 1080p. So for me, this was actually a big boost. So I'm really pleased with that one. The only thing I didn't like about it is that it's actually a lot more expensive. It comes at $500, and I don't think that's cool. I don't think that's cool. But again, yes, Apple is increasing the prices on basically all their products. So I suppose this doesn't come as a big shocker exactly. And then we have the 2019 iPad. Now this is basically the thing that's been updated from last year and the year before. It's just called iPad. It's the most basic model ever. It's cheaper, and it's got a worse camera than the iPad mini 5. But for people who just want to browse the web, just run games and stuff like that, it's actually a pretty decent deal. It doesn't have a laminated screen or anything fancy like that. It still has Apple Pencil support, so that's pretty cool. And it's pretty cheap. It's something like $350. That's pretty good for an iPad. I think that's actually really price worthy. I really do. The other things that these other iPads have, it's just gimmicks and stuff. And then the third thing, this really shocked me, and I think a lot of people, and nobody had a clue that this was going to happen. I mean nobody, no one in the tech community had any expectations on this one. The iPad Air 3. This is a bit of a tricky one because we did have iPad Air 1, and then we had the 2, and this is technically speaking the third iPad Air. But to be completely honest, to me, I don't think that this feels like an iPad Air. The Air was known to be the thinnest, the lightest iPad, and this one doesn't have that. It costs approximately as much as the iPad mini 5, and it's basically the 2017 iPad Pro design. So you could sort of say this is like a cheaper iPad Pro. So this is very interesting. You got all these iPads. Now, the iPad Air 3, it also has the A12. Design-wise, again, as I said, it's the iPad Pro 2017 model. It doesn't have any Pro Motion to it, but it's a really fast iPad, you know. So it's got a better screen, you know, laminate and all of that. So if you're really into that, then this is a really good deal. Now, I kind of like that you have these options, but you got to keep in mind that now that there are 5 models of iPads, you got the iPad, the iPad Air, the iPad Mini, and the iPad Pro. And you also have to keep in mind that they all have different sizes and different colors. And to me, that feels like maybe we should knock it down a bit. Like I sort of miss the good old Steve Jobs days when we just had 2 colors, you know, black and white, you know. But now we got, you know, pink, we got really space gray, we got gold. It's just, to me, I just wish it was like black and white. Like I miss those days. It was just more simple. And also I think we have too many versions here. I think that there should be like something like an iPad mini, an iPad, and an iPad Pro, and just keep it at that, for different price groups and also for different types of people, because I know that there are people who use the iPad Pro for video editing. I mean, the camera, I think we can all agree that the camera is pretty much pointless in all iPads, but it's kind of cool that they're there. As I mentioned, you know, I'm pretty pleased with having the iPad Mini 5 having a 1080p front-facing camera. That's pretty cool for someone like me who vlogs a lot, but I think for most people it's not important. So what we come to is basically the choice. Which one should you get? Should you get the iPad Mini 5, the 2019 iPad, or the iPad Air 3? I think I've sort of already said it, but I'm just gonna sum it up. Like, if you want to just have an iPad that does your basic stuff and you're not into like fancy cameras or laminated screens, I mean, it's not a bad screen, but it's not laminated, and I wouldn't recommend this for using outdoors because it's got a lot more reflection than the other 2 versions. But it's the cheapest iPad, and I think it's super price worthy. I really do that. You get really a good CPU, and you can run all the apps really smooth. You can do a lot of video editing. I mean, this could edit 4K, no problems whatsoever. So I gotta say, you know, to me, if I had to pick one of these right now, I would go with the 2019 iPad. So who's the iPad Air 3 for? Basically, it's for someone who wants that size, but wants like a thinner design, and perhaps also if you're looking into a more prestigious look on the iPad. But I gotta say, I don't think that the iPad 3 is a good deal, because you got a lot of things in the regular iPad, the 2019 iPad, the cheap iPad. And I think that was just good enough for everyone. Anyone who wants to edit. I mean, all of these 3 iPads have the exact same processor. So the difference between the A12 and the A12X is not that huge. Definitely for video editors. But I don't think that's really working out for. I haven't heard too many users using their iPads for editing videos. Like, I can't see anyone editing a 2-hour movie on an iPad. I can't see anyone editing a commercial on an iPad, you know. I mean, it's flexible, it's nice to be portable and stuff like that, but I can only imagine that the only people who use an iPad are vloggers, people like me basically, and, you know, most vloggers, they don't even shoot in 4K. So I would really say that the 2019 iPad is really price worthy. Now, let's talk about the iPad Mini 5. So is this one a better choice? To me, it really is about the iPad Mini 5 and the cheap 2019 iPad. iPad Mini 5 is super portable. It's got the exact same design as the iPad Mini 4, so I can vouch for it. The iPad Mini is really a very comfortable, lightweight, portable device. And I can't really say that about the regular iPad, and I can't really say that about the iPad Air, even though the name hints Air, because it's The design is sleek and all of that, but it still takes up a lot of space in your luggage or whatever. So I wouldn't exactly say that it's a portable device. Not in the same extent as the iPad mini 5, that is. So for my money's worth, if you're looking for something really, something that you can just throw into your purse or whatever, in your backpack, you want something that you can carry with you all times, like basically having a really big phone, and you don't already have a big smartphone like the iPhone 8 Plus, then yeah, I would say that the iPad mini 5 is a really good deal. It bothers me a bit that they've made it that the 64 gigabyte version costs in as much as the iPad mini 4 in 128 gigabytes, which is about $500. It comes in 64 and 128 gigabytes, and I think 64 is pretty much enough for most people anyway. Now, I should mention that I have 256 on my smartphone, but I'm crazy, so you don't want to follow me on that one. But again, I just gotta say, looking at these free models, I still think that the iPad 2019 really does look the best. No, that's not it. The regular sized iPad, because it's just price worthy. And you got your Apple Pencil support. It's got an A12 processor, and it's like $329. Good screen. I mean, a lot of people are gonna say that it's not good. Oh, I haven't updated this one yet, but it's got a good screen, even though it's not laminated. It's still a really good screen. I still think that the iPad, the regular size iPad, is the best deal out there. And as I mentioned, the iPad Air, it looks good. It has thinner bezels, and you can connect a keyboard to it also. And it's thin, good screen, really good screen, but we're talking performance, it doesn't really give that much more. Actually, it doesn't give anything more. So to me, I just don't feel it being necessary to be very thin and stuff like that. But when we're talking about the iPad mini, which I'd like to call the iPad mini 5 because I think it is, it's nice that you now have the Apple Pencil. It's really nice that you have the A12. And as I mentioned before, I really like the fact that you can now shoot 1080p on the front-facing camera. So those are just my thoughts. Let me know in the comment section what you think of these three bad boys. Which one are you getting and why? And I'll talk to you in the next one. Take care.
Okay, that was it. Hope you enjoyed this video. And if you did, see that like button, smash it. And I got some freakishly awesome videos coming up. Better subscribe so you don't miss a beat. I'll see you later. Peace.